Welcome! Welcome everyone. Renegade, calm down. Stop rushing me. I was getting things set up. Look, actually, the camera went on at the 10-minute mark. That is what I aim for. 10 minutes of wait time. Firefly, shut up. I will sit back soon, Firefly. Shut up. I got setting up and stuff to do. But welcome everyone. We're gonna watch some more Hitchcock and movie films. Of course, it's 10 minutes of nothing. That's the point of it. The point of it is that it's 10 minutes for people to know the streams are going to start soon. Everyone can, notice that it's there. It's a little bit of wait. If anything, I should maybe leave it up for longer. I have 20 minutes of nothing before the stream properly starts. Maybe I could write a few chapters of a book or something before things get going. But yes, welcome. I'll just set up the player for the movie just now because I would rather not have to lean forward as much as possible. I'm on the right HDMI cord. Come on. I am. Wait, why am I hearing? Audio's coming through the TV or the monitor speakers. That's weird. Not to worry. I'll plug in my headphones and that'll stop that bit nonsense. I guess I don't usually hear because I usually have that other cable plugged into it. Yeah, that's okay. Alright. So we're going to watch Frenzy to kick off. Unknown ready to install. I don't feel comfortable installing unknown PlayStation. That's kind of a weird thing to ask me to install. Weird. Alright, I probably have to turn up the gain in the camera for this. Because I'm going to be sitting back. And when I sit back, I'm going to be over here. So, could do with being a little bit brighter, but I have to mess around with a lot more settings to do that now. So I think I'll just accept that. Hey Cindy, welcome to the stream. I'm a little groggy, I had a nap. But it's time for some movies. At least one anyway. I mean, I'm hoping I'll feel up for a second, but we'll do at least one. We'll do at least one. Hey Firefly, you staring at? It's a little colder. I got a hoodie on, as you can see. Firefly, what do you want, my puss? You know I'm streaming, don't you? You know I'm streaming. You know it's your time to steal the show. Is it because of Cindy and Renegade? Sabotage. Wesker's here as well. Garrus is on the chair. You can just see a little bit of his white peeking through at the edge of the couch a little bit there. So yeah, we got a full cat house. Full cat house tonight. Firefly. Um so yes. What content have I got to tell you about coming up? Well, obviously Babylon 5 goes public tomorrow. A couple of big pilots are, I believe, hitting at the end of the week. And by the end, I mean like Thursday, Friday. I believe both Cowboy Bebop and Wheel of Time are coming up this week, which I'm not super excited about either one, if I'm perfectly honest, but they're on the to-do list. And hopefully Squid Game episode 1's this week as well for a review. I keep pushing it off. That's part of the appeal as well of like doing new shows, is that if I don't do it right at the start when it comes out, I know that the potential of its views are much lower, so I just tend to not prioritize it as much. Is Firefly trying to gnaw on me? No, he's just rubbing his face against the shock mount. You can't really see it because it's black, but he's just rubbing his nose against it, as he often does with things. Yeah, I'll do it with my hand if I have my hand lying out sometimes. Yes, Firefly. I've got you. I've got you, my ginger puss puss. Yes. Oh, there's Garrus on camera. He sat up for a minute. He's like, hello, I should be on camera too. I am Garrus. Wesker's still there, by the way. Wesker has made himself comfortable on the back of the couch. Next to my head. Just off camera. Firefly. But yes, I believe me and Tim do have a recording scheduled this coming week. I don't know if we specified the exact day, but I do believe we have something planned. And I hope everyone enjoyed the Planet of the Apes episode of The Ace. I thought it was a good discussion. That'll be followed up by Contact this coming week. Oh, Firefly's resting on my lap now. Oh, hey Bob. You knock yourself out and enjoy. I have no interest in Grand Theft Auto of any kind. I've just never had an appeal for it for whatever reason. The open worldness of it, probably more than anything else. Well, it's a terrible movie, and so hopefully enjoyment will ensue from my pain. But that is yeah, I thought it was a solid episode. Yeah, actually, I made a choice based on these top tens. Actually, I'm going to swap the order of which I actually put them out. Because I realized when I was thinking about like what I want to like watch still for the Hitchcock top 10 and the Christmas top 10 that I know I need to do next, is that I realized that I don't really have to prep anything for the Christmas one. Like I don't have to watch anything. I don't have to like refresh myself on any movies. I mean, I'm sure there's some gems that I could find, but there's so many Christmas movies that are, there's a few diamonds in the rough that I'm sure that they're still there to find, but like nothing I'm going to like get to soon. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, I've started capturing footage for the Christmas one, I haven't ordered my top 10 yet, but I know what the 10 is. So I've started capturing footage for the top 10 Christmas movies, and I think I'll put that out. Probably I'll hold off. I won't put it out at the end of this month because it's Christmassy, but I'll put that out early December. And it means we can spend a bit more time watching Hitchcock movies, which I think is only good. So I think that's the plan. So we can make this top 10 quite thorough and researched. Whew. Oh, hey, Firefly. He's looking up at me. He's like, why must you move? Stay still, a human. Yeah, okay. Firefly, I'm petting you, Calm down. He's getting the side scratches now. Have I seen Shin Godzilla from 2016, also known as Godzilla Resurgence? I want to say. I haven't actually. I kind of held it off because I was wanting to wait until I'd watched every single other Godzilla Japanese, Japanese Godzilla movie before I watched it, and then the reviews with Connor kind of went away, so that kind of vaporized, and we will at some point do them on Ace. We did the first one. I don't know what the plan's going to be to tackle all the Godzilla sequels on the Ace, but we might like pair them together or something, or yeah, just because Ace has become a very consistent show in the sense that it tends to be close to 90 minutes. The conversation, it's a little loose at times, but it tends to quite comfortably fit that format. And I don't think there's a single sequel to Godzilla that we're going to be able to even get to an hour on. I might even struggle to get to 40 minutes on some of those movies. So I feel like they have to be done as like double features or something, which is a little frustrating in the sense that it requires a lot more watching for the episode in question. But it is something we should definitely do at some point. But yes, I'll eventually get to Shin Godzilla. I've heard good things. Heard good things. We're just killing time a little bit just now to let the latecomers appear. Hopefully, get a couple of the other loyal Hitchcock watchers. I know Fletcher's been enjoying the movies, and Elsa has been into them. I think this is friends. You think this is friends? I don't know if that's the most encouraging sign, but amusing. I'll need to talk to Cara about what when he's free this week to see if we're because there's a Star Trek to go out publicly this week. And we should be able to record one this week, but I don't know if we're recording it early enough in the week that it'll be around the same time in the week as for Patreon. I'll have to inquire with the Ginger Menace. But I finally finished porting over all the Chucky movies to the movie channel. So those are all up, all 7 of them, and I made a start on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The second one went up today. Those will be going up every couple of days or so. I like to squeeze in a classic Ace in between every few. There's a lot more old streams to put up, so obviously I put up more of them, but just chipping away Ace. Ace I'm just going through in order though, it's pretty straightforward. As tempting as it is to like put in all the stuff that we're continuing franchises off of, like, you know, getting the previous entries up on the new channel as quickly as possible, I feel like a lot of the views on those older episodes, which are people who saw them before, but it's been enough time that they're watching them again. I feel like that would diminish if I like, oh, I'll put up Matrix 1 and 2 because Matrix 3 and obviously 4 is coming, but like the views on 1 and 2 would probably be pretty rough, even for ported episodes, because they're not that old and people remember them quite well. So I've just been going through an order. Just got to the first Terminator, which is about 14 episodes in? 15 episodes in? Long way to go. I'll be porting episodes for a while. That's lovely, Renegade. I'm so happy to hear that. I was watching some What We Do in the Shadows today. Not the new season. I'm still rewatching season 2, but I did I actually had a nap. My nap started in the finale of season 2, so I'm just about ready to watch the new season 3 episodes. But very much enjoyed the Witches episode again. Just 2, I think, Renegade, but I could be misremembering. Wikipedia, I'm pretty sure only had 2 more. But I watched a movie today, just when I was lounging around in the middle of the day. I watched Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk, and it was decent overall. I was a little disappointed by the end though, because I thought the first act was really good. Like I thought it was going to be a great movie. Once I got, because the first big action scene on a bus is fantastic, and I was really digging the mood, and I was digging the overall feel of it. Unfortunately, it kind of just slowly went down a bit as it went into the second half, and the conclusion kind of had the weakest action, which was a shame. But it also just kind of hurt as a movie in the sense that everything just felt too like, you know, one of the reasons why the early fight scene was so good is that it felt like Bob Odenkirk was, well, he was winning, he was getting the absolute shit kicked out of him, and it felt like he was a schlub who was just really good at what he does. And he was this loner who was going to do the right thing. By the time you get to the end, like, it's introduced like other characters to help him, and I felt like they took away from what made the movie feel special earlier on. The bigger problem though is the fact that there's no like desperation getting into the last act. It kind of feels like everything's just too easy for him at a certain point, where everyone he cares about is safe and there's no risk to anything. So it just doesn't feel like there's like he's at his low point before like the final scene where he really has to come up and like win. It just kind of feels like it's going through the motions of him just finishing being cool. So yeah, I thought the back half of it was a bit disappointing, but decent watch overall. Yes, but I'm looking forward to season 3 of Shadows. Mm. I had a pretty busy week content wise. I let myself have a quieter weekend, but the week was pretty busy. You pretty much agree with me, but it's Bob Odenkirk, so it's an 8 out of 10. Honestly, like I thought, like after the opening, I thought it might get to like an 8 out of 10. Like it felt like it was striving for that, which is why I was kind of upset that it dwindled a bit as it went on. So I think I would still give it a 6, but it's a shame because I felt like it had a higher potential. But hey, it is what it is. Watched Darlin last night. Yeah, I've not seen Darlin. I've got a few things on my to watch list that I would like to get to. A Firefly. Oh, Firefly's just a big slab of cat fur now, just sitting on my lap, not reacting to anything. He's happy. Wesker seems happy-ish. And Garrus, I can't see, but he's not making a fuss. Oh wait. Oh, Darling. No, I've seen Darling. I know what you're talking about now. I really like Darling, actually. I should have just assumed that it was that he had the G on the end. Um, I no, I like Darling. It was one of my favorite horror movies of the year it came out. I would I've got a bunch of has other films that I've not seen as well that have been on my to do list for quite some time. I think I've just been waiting until it's been a good time to put it on Screams or in some cases the Ace because there's like a couple of sci-fi ones. Oh, oh dear. Hey, before you saw Red Notice, um, I can't say that movie looks anything other than just bland, generic Hollywood to me. Fun but dumb. That's probably the best I could have expected out of it, to be honest. I'm in no rush to check that one out. I have so many movies I want to watch. I've got so many classics I want to get to. I've got so many films that I've not seen that I want to get to. The other day I made like a multi-tiered watch list that had like different categories. Like when I'm in the mood for a movie that's recent, like as in the last year or so, to stay up to date with things, I can take from that list. I've got a list that's from like sort of a recent last decade kind of thing, and then I've got like a bunch of like more classic decades with just lists of movies that I need to get to. Never played Blood Rain. You're going to review the Resident Evil. We definitely will, Renegade. I can't guarantee when it'll be. Um, it's only in theaters when it comes out later this month. It's not impossible that we'll do it pretty quickly. We have discussed the idea, but it depends on a few things. So it may have to wait for the home video version. Feels weird saying home video. I feel like home video is a dead phrase. Like we kind of left that behind. Pretty much when we went to Blu-ray, we kind of stopped saying home video. That was a VHS and DVD era thing. Yeah. No, nobody was still okay overall, but it definitely didn't live up to its potential. The first act, or even first half, I would say. I watched the Legend. Sorry, I was reading Befure's comment. I watched Shang-Chi when it hit Disney Plus, and oh boy, that movie bored the shit out of me. Oofed. Just funny actually. It's funny that I watched that and then Nobody pretty much back to back, because Nobody has a much better bus fight scene. And the bus fight scene is the scene that everyone praises from Shang-Chi, and it's okay. It's got a couple of okay moments in it, but it's a bit overproduced. Like it doesn't really give me that. People compared it to Jackie Chan, say it was like a martial arts film. I don't know how much of a martial arts film it really is. There's a couple of scenes, and that's about it. But yeah, like the scene in the bus, like all those scenes we saw in Police Story 1 and 2 of Jackie Chan, particularly the first one. I didn't get that feeling at all from that scene. It still felt like it was getting into slow motion. It was cutting around a bit too much. So I was lukewarm in the first half of Shang-Chi. I hated the second half. Everything with where they went and the big CGI like thing in the last 20 minutes, like all of that was just boring to me. Did I like the villain? I like the actor who plays the villain. He was interesting-ish as a character, I guess. Like it was weird. It had like one Jackie Chan inspired fight scene. It had one kind of wushu inspired fight scene in the flashback with the dad and the mum. I kind of just wish it picked a lane and stuck to it. It's a good question, Befure. I mean, the bus driver does get injured at some point because Aquafina has to take over, but yeah, I didn't get much out of Shang-Chi, and honestly, like my track record this year with Marvel is abysmal. Like I have not liked most of what they've done. Mediocre movies, mediocre TV. Even the TV that I did like at the start, like WandaVision, because I genuinely liked WandaVision early on. The ending of that was a bit of a dud. Overall, it's still probably the best thing that Marvel's done this year. That actor, Tony Leung, who plays the villain in Shang-Chi, he is a veteran actor. I've seen him in tons of movies. Most of them are not English speaking films, though. Most of them are Chinese films or films from Hong Kong. But he's great in a lot of movies. It's a morbid way of putting it, Bob. I don't necessarily need that, but I don't know. It all felt a bit fluffy, which is my problem with Marvel in general, and has been for a while. I'm watching the new Ghostbusters. Again, it's only in theaters. Like I've not really made the return to theaters yet, and I don't know if my cynical attitude towards like everything coming back makes me want to like break my streak of not. And it's not that I don't want to go. Yes, I love going to the movie theater. Let's make that clear. I'm not. But like, it feels weird to sort of go back for that when I'm kind of being cynical about franchises continuing when they don't need to, and everything being a fast food item. I mean, I'll definitely see it. It's just a question of it'll probably be when it comes to home formats. Which, in the gap right now between the theatre release and the home release is shorter than it's ever been. If anything, it's shorter right now because we're still in a weird kind of pandemic era. I've not found a lot of movies to love this year as of yet. I mean, I found old movies to love, but I've not found a lot of new movies to love that came out in 2021. I'm hoping that I'll find some at some point. I've got a few on the to-do list that might make me more happy, but so do you think I was right about Chucky? It depends. You predicted a couple of things, Bob. The first episode probably was taking place during the last movie, but clearly the more recent episodes weren't, because a couple of weeks have passed since it. That said, though, there's a chance that Nika thinks it's 2 weeks later and it's actually a year and 2 weeks. So we'll see. I mean, right now it seems like it is that close to the movie, but we'll see. You were wrong about there already been another doll, though. And even when the other doll showed up and it was ordered on eBay, it wasn't a possessed doll until Chucky did his thing. So I'm not giving you a point for that one. You haven't seen Candyman yet, but should do soon. I've seen plenty of movies from this year. It's just most of them are just mediocre to okay at best. Like, it's just been a kind of a weak year. And last year was kind of odd as well. The sad part is I've got a couple of movies from last year still to see, and it's annoying that if I end up loving them, that I can't count them as 2021 movies. Because 2021 could definitely use the rub, but oh well. But no, I've got a few things on the to-do list. I need to see Pig, I need to see Titan, I need to see there's a few other ones that I had written down. Bob, I don't remember the movie well enough to remember the phone call, so even even if you're completely right, I'm not going. It's not going to click for me at any point. Like, um, if I yeah. I actually know very little about Titan, which I'm happy about. It seems like a movie that you want to go in as blind as possible. Um, but it's listed as sci-fi, which makes me think it should be an Ace movie. So, because I almost went to watch it this week. I ended up watching Shang-Chi instead because I realized Shang-Chi was available. I probably would have had a much better time with the other movie, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Firefly, I'm glad you're comfy. He's rolling onto his back now and sticking his paws out at me. And there's other movies I've heard some things about. Like, I've heard some good things about the Night House. I'm sure we'll probably try and do that in Screams at some point. There's one where the house is underwater, the Sunken House or something like that, which I should check out. But yeah, it's been a weird year. Maybe some more things will come out in the last couple of months, but there's not been a ton that's been like, hey, you must see this. There's definitely less like stuff with like good rep this year, but the fact that a couple of things that have good rep disappointed me, or not disappointed me, but at the very least, like I'm not in love with the Dune movie that a lot of people are. So the fact that like a couple of big ones like that have left me a little more lukewarm is really disappointing because it means that I just oh shit I don't have anything I'm excited about. I'll see Spider-Man 3 when it comes to home form. I just don't care about the Marvel stuff right now. I just don't. I'll watch it when it's available at home because it's easy enough. But admittedly, though, after Shang-Chi, like my immediate thought was like, I just don't give a shit right now. Like the post credit scenes hit teasing things, and I'm like, oh, I don't care. Go away. And I think it's just like fatigue of mediocre movies. I think Infinity War and Endgame were pretty good because they were these big culminations, but them having to go back to kind of like phase one style introductions of characters or just the I mean obviously Black Widow wasn't an introduction, but Black Widow was this weird thing where it couldn't really do anything that exciting because it had to just leave her in the place she was at the start of Infinity War. So you have that going against it, plus I think at this point so conceptually not everything's as interesting as it was with the characters we had in phase one. Certainly for my personal taste, like Shang-Chi and all the mystical stuff that goes with that isn't really to my taste as much. Even though there was effectively a Hellmouth. Did I see a trailer for Gemstone Season 2? No, I don't need to, Bob. I'm good. I don't need to ruin some of the jokes before I see it. Yeah, very good. I wait a little bit more. You started to watch Marvel movies at 1.5 speed. Honestly, Cindy, I can't really blame you that. I mean, I almost never ever watch anything at increased speed. I don't like doing it. Pacing is important, and all the reasons, right, why you shouldn't do that. But like Shang-Chi was a chore. Like I checked the time, thinking that I was maybe getting into like the last stretch. That thinking I had maybe 20-30 minutes left at most, and I was an hour away from the end, and I thought, holy shit, I'm only halfway through this, and I just like, and to be fair, right, and to be honest, I was pretty checked out of that last half. Like I was giving it a pretty fair shot in the first half. I wasn't looking at my phone. I was just paying attention. I was in. By the time they went through the forest and got to like the mystical homeland or whatever you want to call it, and I realized I had an hour left of the movie still somehow, I was just kind of like, and from that point on, I was looking at Twitter a bit more, and I was just kind of like, oh, how much is left now? How much is left now? Like I was just getting through it. So I mean, I can't blame you really. And the stories are so basically at this point that, and they feel kind of like they're just retreading in a lot of ways that I don't suppose you will miss much if you're going at 1.5 speed. I'm sad to say it. I don't think fatigue would be a problem if they were knocking it out the park with just great, interesting movies, but Guardians of the Galaxy was just a great movie. And it came at a time where they were riding the high off of Avengers. Winter Soldier was really good. And then they gave us Guardians, and it was like, oh shit, yeah, sure, Thor 2 kind of sucked, but like that wasn't like, the batting average was fairly good at that point. So Guardians comes out, and it was like, oh shit, this is just really good. I mean, these characters are new to everyone pretty much. I mean, sure, there's some nerds who have read the comics, but for the most part, these characters are new to most people, and it just worked because the movie was great. And I feel like their ability, or at least maybe it's the directors they're choosing, maybe it's the scripts they've got, maybe it's because the movies have become more prefabricated as Marvel's like got into its groove of like churning out movies. It's one of the things that I talked about a lot after Black Widow, is that the Marvel movies do this thing now where like the action sequences, because they take so long to do the effects, which is baffling to me, to be honest, because the effects are not that good. Like the visual effects in Shang-Chi were not good. For a movie of its budget, it was a pretty weak looking set of effects at times. Some really simple green screen stuff looked really bad, especially early on in the movie. But because they spend so much time on the effects, is they effectively kind of already like start making the action scenes digitally long before they even like hire a director. And the action scenes in a movie are, if it's an action movie, the action scenes should add to the story. They should be emotional points that are like payoffs to like what's been building up throughout the story, or they should be whatever. So you have this weird disconnect where you kind of feel like the director's making, and I really felt this in Black Widow, because Black Widow, it really felt like the director was trying to do this drama where you had scenes where it was like, Florence Pugh and what's his face from Stranger Things, that I'm forgetting his name right now, and they're like opening up about being a fake family, and it's doing kind of some interesting concepts, and it's trying to put in some real issues at various points. But ultimately, like, even though it tries to tackle things, and it tries to sort of almost take, Ray Winston's character is like a Harvey Weinstein. Like, that's what he is. And it's one of the more interesting scenes in the movie, because at least it's trying to say something, unlike a lot of the rest of the film. But it's still David Harbour, that's the one. But it's still kind of wrapped up in kind of just a fluffy plot, and it doesn't really feel like they accomplish much. It kind of feels like it's going through the motions in a lot of the time. And I think part of that is you have like, even if you have a good director, and I don't know the work of the director of Black Widow. I don't know if she is like a great director. I don't know if the director of Shang-Chi is typically a good director. I don't know these directors. Maybe they're also just kind of weak as well, or inexperienced, or whatever. But you have directors trying to like tell a story that might speak to them, and it's maybe what attracted them to material, but they have to just kind of plug in their scenes to work around whatever action sequences have already been decided. So there's like a level of control that a director should have over the craft of the movie that is kind of been restrained in these big films, and it does kind of have that feeling of the assembly line kind of fast food product, where it just feels a little bit soulless. And I really felt that in Black Widow. I think Shang-Chi objectively is a better film than Black Widow, but I just so wasn't into like the like where it went. I just thought it was boring, and then all the other usual like problems with the Marvel movies right now. Did I ever look at the Soul Flower comics? I'll be honest, Bob, I read a few pages of the first one and hated it and stopped reading. I did not like the writing, I'm afraid. Because we were going to review it, and then I was the only one who tried to read it, and then I just like, admittedly, it's got a little bit of a struggle in that I've already read like 7 or 8 comics for the show, and it's last, and it's like, so. But yeah, so I mean, and that's kind of where I'm at with the Marvel stuff right now. And it's not like the shows have been doing much better. I think Loki was just rushing through plot at a weird rate. And what's funny is that everyone seems to hate the last episode, and I think the last episode is the only one that was any good. Because I really enjoyed the performance of of Jonathan Majors, who plays Kang. But Falcon and Winter Soldier was like sagged in the middle, was all over the place. And honestly, some of this Marvel stuff is like making me feel the oldest I've ever felt in terms of being disconnected to the populace opinion, because like everyone was raving about Zemo dancing in like episode 3, and I freaking hated that episode. It was just such a time wasting filler piece of shit with villains who are uninteresting, the flag smashers. Like I got nothing. Like I like some of the stuff towards the end. I like some of the stuff of like Falcon becoming Captain America. Like there were some good points to make with that, and his speech was pretty good, but the rest of it was just really rough. If I had anything else on those three, no, I think that's it. Just those three. Well, there's what ifs happened, but I haven't watched that. And once again, like the next one has potential. Like I like the Hawkeye comics that the new show is kind of based on, and I say kind of. I don't know how much of the plot it's actually going to follow, but the sort of the sense of humor and the art style that it's going for is based on a very very good run of comics by Matt Fraction and David Aja, and I like Haley Steinfeld. I think her and Jeremy Renner might be really fun together. But I have to admit, like I have this muted like expectation because I've been so just lukewarm and how bland everything's been for Marvel recently. So it was a shame. It is a shame. And Eternals, like I just I don't even know. Like I guess I probably will just throw it on for completion's sake. But I have to admit that like throwing it on for completion's sake, like feeling is getting harder and harder to muster with each passing movie. That it is just like a chore to me. Um, I mean the fact that because the first one that I didn't see in theaters was Ant-Man and the Wasp. And part of that was because it came here late. I think like the World Cup was on or something, so they delayed it in the UK by a month. So I just felt like, well, the conversation's already a month old now. I'll just wait until it comes to home release. And then it got to like, so then the next few came out, and I saw them, and I was kind of disappointed in some of them, but some of them were good. Infinity War and Endgame were good. Black Panther is a really good movie for the most part, but it has the same problem that some of these other films do, which is the third act CGI fight is just a complete letdown compared to the rest of the movie. But yeah, so I haven't seen. I saw Black Widow at home. I just watched Shang-Chi at home. I'll definitely not see Eternals until it's at home. Spider-Man, I don't think I'll see in the theater. Even if I'm going back to the theater at that point, unless I'm like really itching to go to the theater for something, maybe I'll go. But like I'm at a point now where I can wait for the Marvel movies. Like I don't need to, and I'm at the point now where I don't like, because I actually said to myself as I sat down to watch Shang-Chi, I thought, oh, maybe I'll do a review. Maybe I'll finish the movie and I'll throw on the camera after, and I'll give my thoughts. It's a bit late, but whatever. Some people might be interested in my thoughts. And about halfway through the movie, basically when I started to like not really care and was just kind of not paying attention anymore, to a point. Like I still was, but like I was not like 100% into it. Obviously, I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to not review this now, because I'm not reviewing it, then I can miss things. I don't have to pay as much attention, so I can start. And the fact that I don't want to pay attention is kind of the critique. But I also felt like I don't know if I've got anything new to say about these at this point. Like I'm just going to, and I'm doing it a bit now because I'm just on a stream talking casually. But like if I put out a review that was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and I did a review that was 30 minutes to an hour long or whatever of me sitting talking about it, it would be me sitting and complaining and whining, and anyone who still likes these movies would just hate me for it. And I don't even think people who agree with me would probably get much out of it at this point. Um, the discourse is kind of, it's just uninteresting at this point. Like, I'm not excited to talk about a Marvel movie anymore. There's far more interesting things to talk about. Far more interesting things. Just in my head today, I was thinking of the Christmas top 10, and I don't script the top 10s. Maybe I will at some point if I feel like I want to, but for the most part, I sit down and I maybe have a few ideas of what I'm going to say, but I just talk and then I edit it and have it as it is. But today I was actually sitting thinking about like what I'm going to say for the number one, because I know what it is. I know what number one is, and I was sitting thinking about like what I want to say about it in a more condensed form. And I was far more excited about talking about that movie, a movie that I've definitely talked about before at some point, than I am about saying anything about Shang-Chi. Oh, dear. But hey, I should stop talking about it now. I figure this is probably devolving into me complaining for an extended period of time. We should start Frenzy soon. I was hoping a couple of the other usuals would be here in time for it, but we can only wait so long. Maybe I'm starting the streams too early. Maybe everyone would just prefer if I started like now. It started the waiting around for people about now. But hey ho. Oh, stretching a little bit. Think it's the time change. Possibly. I mean, we should be in sync again, but you mean that people aren't used to the hour earlierness of everything? Yeah, I get it. All right, let me get the timer ready. Also, we're getting into Monday morning, so there should be some new movie sales going up, although nothing remotely interesting as of yet. 1972 sounds right. Yep. I'm just getting the timer ready, which will hopefully work. And I'll see how mine starts in a second. Oh, that's interesting. That's actually giving me. Okay. Let me get this bad boy set up then. Oh. From beginning, please. Apple TV. Alright, the movie just starts on black and it fades into a shot of London. There's no opening logos. Yeah, that's it, Cindy, yeah. So just pause at 0 then. No, no, nothing complicated with this one. Just pause at 0. We're watching Frenzy from 1972, directed by Hitchcock. The movie is on YouTube, apparently. Cindy's linked it in the chat, so if you click on that, pause it at 0. Have you ever seen Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters? I have not, no. And you might have asked me that before. It seems familiar. Okay. Alright, so we're watching Frenzy from 1972. Pause at 0. I'm going to count down from 3. I'm going to do 3, 2, 1, and then say press play. When I say press play, hit play, and we'll all be in sync. So we're about to do this. So be at the ready. Pause at 0. This is about to happen. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Timer's on screen. Good. City of London. So weird. Based on the novel Goodbye Piccadilly, Farewell Leicester Square. I didn't know that. Ah. I do got Pringles. And I ain't afraid to use them. It's so weird there's no Universal logo at the start, because it is a Universal movie. Like, originally. Some of these older movies were released by like another company and then Universal bought the rights later or whatever. But this one was originally Universal. So it's really weird that there was no Universal logo. It's a very upbeat track for what's going to be a thriller. Look at that sad, pathetic little beach. I'm pretty sure the Thames is still pretty shit in 2021. Just gotta put that out there. Well, that's dampened the mood. This is definitely a 70s movie. I do love the cut to someone putting on a tie. It's like, because it's just forcing the question in your head: is it him? Is it him? I was not expecting. What about you always fingering me? That. I have to question the dynamic of this working place because, like, okay, so fair enough, our main guy here and her have a bit of a fling going or whatever, right? They're a couple or whatever. But that line about "what about you always fingering me," is that like just casually pointing out that he sexually harasses or assaults her as a manager, or like what's the how does it work? Like I don't. It's just a weird comeback to, oh, you two do things with each other. It's like, and what about you? You're always doing things to me. What? Weird bit of dialogue. That's all I'm saying. Weird bit of dialogue. It made me laugh, but weird. Do you think he's just a bit grabby? Do you think that's what fingering means in this context? He's just kind of. If I'm to guess, it probably means that it's not like because if we say fingering now, we mean something specific. Maybe she just means you're always trying to make a move, so you're always putting the arm around her or whatever. Pays to have a friend in the fruit industry. You get a lot of free fruit apparently. Firefly wants that. Oh yeah, go horse racing. It's a good idea. Oh, he Batmaned out the scene. Exciting. For the record, I do remember who the killer is. I am intentionally not saying a word. Very casual attitude about discussing this, haven't they? Our main dude here may have a drinking problem. Just going to throw it out there. He's so angry. And he destroyed his grapes, and now he can't afford to eat anything else. She's a lot taller than him. Which maybe he's into, but... In fact, both of them are taller than him. He's just a very short man. It's a trap, my man. It's a trap. Vinegar Joe. Our main character is a complete prick. He's entertaining as being a prick, but he's a prick. He's kind of pompous in his prickishness, which is making it loosely entertaining. Oh, Firefly. Yeah, Firefly. Lie down and watch the movie with me. She's much happier to see him and more pleasant to him than I would expect. She's buying him dinner. This woman is a saint. She brought him to her fancy club and he's making a scene. Snooty old lady's like, oh, what a pompous ass. Did he intentionally take someone else's coat? I think he might have done. Or maybe it was an accident. What are these peculiar fetishes he has? I wonder. He's really into his fruit. His whole business is fruit. You know what's interesting about this scene? Is that this guy seemed really nice and friendly to everyone in the previous scene with him. And we commented on how her reaction to our main character, who's been a complete dick and a jerk to everyone, is always flying off the handle. She was nice to him and wanted to help him. But this guy, who seemed nice enough to us before, she's clearly on like tense, like ground with. She's clearly nervous. It's an interesting way to swerve us into like thinking of him differently and thinking that he actually might be the dangerous one. It's why you do this through her as a character. This is definitely way more in your face intimidating than Hitchcock's prior. I guess it's just because it's the 70s. They can get away with more of this now. He's a proper psychopath. Yeah, it's easily the most disturbing scene I've seen out of his films. That was quite a turn after he finished. Yeah, that was legitimately disturbing. Yeah, the image of her tongue sticking out was a little, like, it was a little goofy. Like that one shot was a little goofy compared to the rest of the scene. That's right. He always leaves the tie behind. Better hope they don't have his fingerprints on record because he did not wipe it down. Yeah, that's kind of the beauty of it, is that you present as someone who's really flawed and kind of mostly unlikable, but then it turns into like, yeah, he's unlikable, but he's not guilty of this. Staying on the shot on the outside was nice. This fight over Babs. Yeah. She's not lying. She did see him, and her interaction with him wasn't pleasant. There's tons of witnesses who saw him yelling at the restaurant. There's a long list of things to make it look like it's him. This is really specific. Quite unsuitable for London. How judgmental. Oh, I bet the money that was in his pocket's money she slipped in his pocket, so it'll also have the powder on it. All the stinky homeless people, making them stinky. What's this? All right, yes. You know, earlier you mentioned meeting her outside the Odeon. It's nice to know that the theatre chains are still the same in the 70s. So judgmental. Maybe he shouldn't blow his money on an expensive hotel. I'll just, make it last a bit longer. Not that I'm great with money or anything, but there's just simple, basic rules. I'm pretty sure he just offered to go get him some condoms. Oh, he is, for sure. Is that a service hotel still offer? I've never asked someone to clean my clothes when I'm at a hotel before. Oh, it's definitely so. Oh, jeez. Even some bush there. Jesus. I don't know. He's a very posh speaker, Cindy, despite his less than posh lifestyle. Yes, the socks were the important part. Yes, put the socks on, but otherwise be fast naked. That's the ticket. Not in the Cupid room. They would definitely ask him more specific questions than that. You pay for that. That was pretty sharpish. Say yes. Say yes. Whoa, who's this? And the mysterious woman up in the balcony. Like, what's it? Oh, I recognise this actor. Yeah, that ain't gonna look good for you. Given how reasonable they seem to be with each other, surely waiting the 3 years to get a divorce should have been an easy enough task. Instead of putting this giant thing in his record that says he was extremely mentally abusive to her. Yeah, running off to Paris isn't going to look suspicious. You definitely need a passport to cross the channel now. Even when I was a kid, you needed a passport for that. Oh, I'm getting hungry now. Damn detective having a big breakfast. Yes, those are sausages, yes. Otherwise known as bangers. He's eating an English breakfast. So that's what happened. I didn't realize that in the scene, but he got frustrated that he couldn't finish and then blamed her for it. Ooh, that was a burn. There's definitely some old-fashioned attitudes in this movie towards women. There's ain't no denying that. That was a very intense close up. That was an excellent transition to him. Excellent. Do you know what I appreciate about this is that she's not being stupid. She knows this guy well enough that this is not completely absurd to, like, do any of this. Oh, this shot. We're gonna hear it scream, aren't we? Yeah, mate, have done, Cindy. Mate, have done. There was a cut in there that tried to hide, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the attempt at this one. The hell is that? Oh, oh. This detective's like the most relatable character because he's because of the food that he's looking at. Hey, Elsa. We're watching Frenzy. Wi-Fi? Is that what you're talking about, Elsa? Or do you mean router? As in the device itself is the router, but Wi-Fi is the technology. Oh, I don't need one, but I know what you're talking about, like a booster thing. Oh God, no, Bob, no. It's debatable if we need this subplot of his struggles with food, but I can't deny I didn't enjoy that scene. I like to try and just use long Ethernet cables if I can for important stuff, but I've never felt the need for a Wi-Fi extender. I was confused what you were asking because I assumed Wi-Fi was just Wi-Fi in every language. Do you know what this movie's really good at? It's really good at building up to like him attacking someone that we've already come to care about. They've done it twice now, and it's really good. And this is the truck of potatoes that's going up to Leicester or wherever it was. It said it was no, it was Lancashire. It was going, yeah. So Lancashire it's going to. Exactly, Cindy. You care. Really, your router must be pretty weak then. Unless the place is really big, but I'm assuming you're not in a mansion. Oh, pardon me. Oh, pardon me again. Sorry, Firefly. I know you have a hard time understanding what a sneeze is, cat. Sometimes my arms hurt after I sneeze. I don't know what that's about. Ah, okay, I guess I see. The Birdemic guy. Oh, right, I don't know, actually. He's got at least one more I know of. Called Jill and Jack or something like that. I mean, Birdemic is kind of a Birds-esque movie, and Replica was definitely a play on Vertigo, so it's not an unfair statement. Oh no, his custom pin might be on the body. Oh, Firefly. Oh, he actually put potatoes in the bag with her as well. I was thinking, surely it'd be easy to tell which one was a body and which one was just potatoes, but if she's surrounded in potatoes as well, then this was one of the sequences that I remembered quite a bit. I assume her leg's quite stiff, Cindy, so it probably hurt quite a bit to get kicked in the face by it. Potatoes! That was nice of him to tell him. This is definitely the top 10 scenes of set in a potato truck. It's probably the best scene set in a potato truck. I can't think of another one. Rigor mortis is a bitch. Firefly. Ugh. The snapping. Maybe wait till he gets to a traffic light or something. Although, admittedly, it's the middle of the night. Huh. Is this movie better than Spellbound? Oh, considerably, I'd say. Considerably. It's actually quite tense. Some really disturbing killing scenes. And he didn't put the flap back up again. What the hell? The driver's going to be having questions about why this flap keeps going down. Feels like his truck's defective. Oh, what a visual. Sorry I've missed you play, but you've been streaming at very inconvenient times. I only played a little bit of Forza. Decorate the Christmas tree. Oh no! Apple TV. Thank you. The Apple TV app on the PlayStation does freeze once in a while. Not too often, but once in a while. On the Apple TV, obviously, everything's much better. I'll need to put the tree up next month, won't I? That's right. Stream 5 trailer. I did watch it. I've forgotten most of it. It looks like another Scream movie. It's weird though, because we already did the nostalgia. Yeah, they already did the nostalgia sequel with number 4, so it's kind of weird that we're doing it again with 5. And oh yeah, that's right. They tried to do the whole look, it's the house from the first movie. We already did that in the third one. So, lukewarm. If they make better movies, Cindy, I'll be in a better mood. Scream 5, Ghostbusters 4. Marvel number 38. No, he's trusting the one person he shouldn't trust. Oh my god, that Firefly. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. Positive Patty? Is that a phrase? He's a monster, is what he is. Monster. Look at him. Look at him. Wah. Wah. I am a kitty monster. Wah. Sure. I feel like you have. It should be a woman's name just to go with the Nancy, but positive Pauline, positive Patricia, positive Penelope. I'm genuinely fascinated by whether or not he wants to frame him for now that they think it's him, or if he's just enjoying watching him, like having this power over him. It really could be either. Could be both, even. Could be I'll enjoy it while it lasts, but then ultimately I get to frame him. No, he's just framing him. He's just framing him. Never mind. Never mind. He's just framing him. That was very quick. Dam bam bam ba dam bam bam dam bam ba dam. That's our bag of stuff. He's realised. Very smart taking the audio away there as the door shut. Yeah, maybe that friend that rushed off to Paris should come back and make a statement or something. No bed's a bit bold. He gets a chair and a little table, and that's it. Ah, the detective's too good. He knows that sounded genuine. It's going to itch him. Yeah, I don't suppose he's staying the night there, but we're going to find out his name's not actually Bob. Oh no, no. It does feel very 70s that they wouldn't just say it. Because I feel like nowadays, if someone's into S&M, they just say, I'm into S&M, I want an S&M partner. Far more accepted these days. Well, that escape attempt went wonderful. I feel like I'd give her an ultimatum right now. I'd be like, well, you're either accepting that I'm ordering takeout food or we're getting a divorce. You can make your choice now. Who's going to be honest? Yep, yep. The way he brought up what they serve at the diner. No, please interrupt it. Please come in. Intervene. How did she just pronounce tequila? Tequila? That was weird. Maybe English people didn't know how to pronounce that word yet in the 70s. Or is that right? Are we all saying it wrong? I was kind of expecting it to say, hasn't the man went through enough? Souffle. Souffle. Oh, souffle. Souffle. I feel like she's trying to be posh by pronouncing things in the way that she thinks they're supposed to be pronounced and like getting them really wrong. He's trying to escape. Dude, you're getting let out like tomorrow. He doesn't know that, admittedly, but. Look at this sly escape attempt. So was injuring himself all part of the plan? He's going to be in trouble for escaping, regardless of how innocent he is. This is still illegal. Fairly frowned upon. Yeah, because now they're on to uh, Rusk. The real threat of this ending now is that he might kill Rusk and therefore be a murderer, and still have to go to prison for it. And at this point, Rusk has killed both his ex-wife and his current girlfriend, so he's got a lot of reasons to hate him as well. On top of the the framing. He's got a crank handle as a weapon. Yeah, it's a full 2 hours. Why do I get a feeling that that is not him lying in that bed? I'm glad it wasn't an intentional decoy because it'd be weird that it'd be expecting him. Yeah, the tongue thing might be based on something. Maybe that's like the tongue goes slack or something when you've been strangled. Whoa, just straight to credits. And that's it. Really solid movie, I think. The pacing's a little weird in the last like half hour versus the rest of the movie, but it's still got a lot of good stuff there. Oh. Alright, well, Renegade gets a point for being boss. Let me deal with that. Renegade, you get to give out 3 spins should you wish. And I'll interact. And I'll stop the timer actually while I'm looking around. Give them to Elsa. Alright. We're trying to give Elsa her points back. Spin number 1. -1. Not a great start. Where's Elsa? There she is. She's only 8 points. Down to 7. Spin number 2. Ugh. Jump jack phase 1. Sorry, the tree was requiring my attention in Elle's first time decorating a tree by herself, and there are way too many ornaments because I have a problem with ornament hoarding. Yes. I'm not surprised. Spin number 3. Oh! So, Renegade just took Elsa's 8 points and put them down to 4 with those spins. So, Elsa, you may scorn Renegade to your heart's content. I am a lost cause. Oh, Elsa, that's not true. That's not true. Should have given them to Cindy. Yeah, but if you give them to Cindy, they'd probably have been different spins, though, right? It would have turned out to be +4 3 times or something like that. Renegade's just slaughtering the competition. Just going to log this bad boy on Letterboxd. Because why not? And it is a rewind. Very good. That's our Hitchcock movie down. I am pleased by that. I don't think we'll do a second one tonight because that one was full 2 hours, and we did take a little bit of time before we started. And I'm hungry, which is the main thing, to be honest. But I want to see him at -50. Oh, Elsa's out for blood. I love it. The fire, the rage, the passion. Hitchcock's now my most watched director of the year at 6 movies. It'll be interesting to see if any actors from these movies end up on my top 20 of the year. Because it's a lot of people tied at 3. It wouldn't be that hard if there's enough people to, or enough repeat actors in some of these movies to get there. But we'll see. We'll see. Actually, my Letterboxd premium is about to run out, which makes sense because the last 2 years I've bought it on the Black Friday sale. So I guess I'm going to do the same thing again this year. Not that this looks super expensive anyway, but the thing is, though, is because you get a year when you buy it, you might as well just wait. Like, if it happens to run out before the next Black Friday sale by a little bit because of the way the year works out, then you might as well just wait the week or whatever it is and get it cheap again. So I'm at 225 movies watched for the year. I'm trying to make an effort, like just watching movies casually, of watching stuff that's not sci-fi or horror, because I do that for the shows. And sometimes I can go a little while and leave some of those other genres behind. So I'm happy that we're doing all these Hitchcock thrillers on stream, and I'm trying to just watch random movies that I've not seen before. Always take advantage of a discount. Quite right. Quite right. So that's good. Alright, so let's close that. Yeah. I also need to pee as it happens, so I'm probably going to wrap this stream up quite sharpish compared to normal. But all the things are converging. I'll be streaming again before too long. I don't want to guarantee when for sure, because tomorrow's a little up in the air. If I don't stream tomorrow, then Tuesday's fairly... I could end up... I don't know what nights I'm going to end up recording this week, so I don't know when I'll be streaming. But tomorrow and Tuesday are both possible. But I don't know. I may end up recording stuff tomorrow or Tuesday. Probably not both, but one of them for sure. So I don't know which. Yeah, Michael Bay. Really? Really? But yeah, I'm kind of looking at a first timer next time for Hitchcock. I was looking at I Confess as the next Hitchcock movie. So that's probably what the next one's going to be. And then if we do a double next time, then I'll have picked for the stream. But I've got a bunch to get to, both rewatch and new. For rewatches, I'm still looking at Lifeboat, still looking at Trouble with Harry. You're gonna be gone for a week, Elsa? Oh no. For new watches, starting with I Confess, but I also want to get to Stage Fright, and we might try and watch The Lodger. We've never watched a silent movie on stream before, so that may be a little bit weird, but maybe worth trying. But yeah, should be good stuff. But yeah, so thank you for joining me, guys. It is a pleasure. I'll definitely try and stream at least once before the weekend, Elsa. Wait, Cindy's leaving for a week as well? Jeez. Maybe I'll just take a light stream holiday since two of my regulars are going to be missing. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. So good night, everyone. Bye bye.